the key takeaways of the temporary buy downs and this little seminar I'm presenting to you. For sellers, understand that offering a temporary buy down rather than a price reduction will attract more buyers because of superior monthly payment terms. Now, in this little discussion, I've been talking about sellers and their agents who've got a listing that's active and it's getting aged and they haven't gotten any offers and they've got to contemplate what kind of concessions to offer to try to get buyers' attention. There's another aspect of how you can use these buy downs. I would argue that if you're a listing agent, you're about to maybe execute a listing agreement with a new seller, consider a buy down as a part of your initial strategy of marketing the home. That's what builders do in high rate environments. You sit down with your seller, you talk about comps, you figure out what do you think is going to be the best price to start off with in your listing. Sometimes it might make sense that once you've done all that, then layer into that. Well, let's see, if we do a buy down, either a 2-1 or a 3-2-1, maybe we should incorporate that into our initial listing. And we've already arrived at a price that we think is going to be competitive in the market. Maybe we should adjust that price a little bit higher to essentially absorb the cost of a temporary buy down like this. Because after all, with the buy down, what you're doing is you're listing your home. And if you offer that buy down immediately when the listing is activated, you're sending a strong signal to those prospective buyers. Hey, I'm a seller over here. I want you to buy my house. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to get you a below market rate, maybe down into the 3s if it's a 3-2-1, or down into the 4s if it's a 2-1. That's a powerful message if you're putting that out there right when you first list your home. So I would argue that these buy down strategies should be part of your initial listing, initially activating your listing, and consider adjusting your asking price to at least cover maybe, if not all the cost of the buy down, a portion of it. And give that a try. I suspect you're going to find that more successful than you think it would be. For buyers, as I've gone over, submitting a full price offer with a temporary buy down is going, rather than the low price offer, is going to provide you much more superior payment terms and allow you possibly to actually extract less concession out of the seller than just asking for a lower price. It's kind of funny how that works out that way. But in any event, it's something that sort of doesn't come to mind initially, but it actually can work out to where I call it in this next point, a win-win situation. If you're looking at just whacking off $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 off the price, but then you end up finding out that you can get, as a buyer, much more financial benefit from doing a 2-1 or a 3-2-1. What you end up finding is, as a side benefit to the seller, is the total concession that you're asking for may not be as much as the price reduction that you were otherwise contemplating. So that's why I say this is a really good win-win situation for buyers who have still been hesitant because of high rates. Use your buy down options when you're making that offer to soften the blow of where rates are at. And then for you sellers, if you're having trouble getting your property moved, pull in the buy downs as a strategy to kind of regain attention in the market and get somebody motivated to maybe make an offer at your current list price. And like I said earlier, more importantly, if you're activating a new listing, I think it's a really good idea to consider a buy down option as part of your initial marketing efforts. Now, one thing I do want to point out, point of caution, because sometimes this is misunderstood. When you're doing a temporary buy down, the buyer is not qualified on the buy down rate. So if you're doing a 3-2-1 off of 6%, the buyer's not going to be qualified. They're not going to have their debt ratio calculated off of 3%. It's going to be the note rate.